Hey, good morning and welcome to the Carl Jackson Show. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I'm actually recording for you on a Saturday morning. And actually I love it, man. It just feels so good, frankly, to be sitting here talking about the stories and hopefully many of you will listen to this podcast because I got so much that I want to talk about, but I do want to focus on a couple of issues. The Democrat desperation, I think that will be the overall theme. I'm talking about the Tesla terrorists and also these conservatives that are getting swatted and probably not necessarily mainstream conservatives right now. You're seeing a lot of the swatting occur with people that you might see on X, or actually people that you are seeing on X that are growing a brand for themselves on that platform. And we'll get into that and why the left is doing that. I think it's honestly, the left has nowhere to go. I said yesterday on Dennis Prager's show, and I truly believe this. When you think about the Democrat Party as it exists today, it is a party that is for open borders. And why are they for open borders? It's simply because we've talked about this time and time again. It's simply because the left needs a perpetual underclass. This is nothing new. The left, for those of you that listen to my podcast, the left needs a perpetual underclass. They love po people. And listen, it's not that conservatives don't love the poor and want to help the poor, but what Democrats want to do is keep the poor poor. That's they have an incentive to keep the poor poor, to keep the poor misinformed, to keep the poor angry, to keep the masses angry. Frankly, that's what they want to do because they need this perpetual underclass. Once you start understanding politics, if you start understanding money, if you dive deeper into your faith, there's no way you'd vote for the Democrat Party, at least not as it exists today, because you can say the Democrats care about the poor and they care about people, but you can't back that up with their policies as Doge continues to expose what's going on in the government. And then I can't believe you have Democrat officials. Their polling is so low right now. You still got Democrat officials out there that are trying to destroy Elon Musk, trying to destroy Tesla simply because he's exposing. He doesn't even have the power to do anything about it except to expose it. But he's exposing how much government waste and fraud there is. That is your money. That is your money. It is baffling to me. And it's sad. It just shows how, and this is a good thing. This is the Department of Education shutting down. I think this is a really good thing. It just shows how much the federal government and the educational system, whether it's K through 12, whether it's college in the United States, has been dumbed down so much over the decades. The fact that people will get upset about a man exposing what we all have known for God knows how long. We talk about it all the time. Oh, they're corrupt in Washington, D.C. They're stealing our money in Washington, D.C. This guy proves it, and Democrats are mad at him. And frankly, some Republicans, too, they feel uncomfortable. Those are the Republicans that we need to vote out of office, as a matter of fact, because I suspect they're either weak-kneed and they're not going to do anything to really help the people, or they're involved in corruption themselves. So we will be talking about Tesla terrorism. We will be talking about the Department of Education. And also the swatting that's occurred, and probably focus more time on that. But I do believe all of these things, all the outrage that we're seeing from the left, is an act of desperation. So I told you that the left is a party of open borders. We all know that. They're also a party of activists, and now they're a party of terrorists. And they're proponents of all of these things. Now, when I say activists, they're not your regular, they're not your regular activists. I'm talking about the AOCs that are on top of the hill, the people that talk a good game. Right? They get people riled up. They're activists in that sense. But when it comes to legislation, when it comes to changing the country for the better, they don't do anything about that. And that's the truth. You even had I forget the name of the Michigan senator, the woman that gave the address after Trump's State of the Union earlier this year, or a few weeks back or so. But nonetheless, she said the same thing. And she's a radical leftist herself, trying to pretend like she's a moderate. But she talked about AOC and all of these people. And she was like, what do they do? Basically, they talk a good game. But what do they do? And she's exactly right. She said, I can't go out and be an activist every single day. I've actually got to do my job. So what do they do? And I'll take you to a bunch of videos, but let's see, where do I want to start here? I guess let's start with the Tesla terrorism. I'll touch on Cori Bush, some criminal activity that's been found out about her husband. For those of you that may have missed it yesterday, Big Perm Al Sharpton's brother is in trouble with the law as well, and these people were involved in the pardons. Joe Biden's auto pen. Oh, and by the way, did you guys hear that Joe Biden? Did you guys know this? Joe Biden made his very first appearance yesterday. On Friday, I didn't even hear about it. Didn't even know about it. I did see it, a headline, as I was getting ready to leave air yesterday from Prager's show. And I meant to come back and make mention of it, and I just completely forgot. I was still looking at other news stories and stuff like that. But he spoke at some national high school conference or something like that. Not that many people there, and media didn't even pay attention to the guy, which proves he was never president. I mean, more. All right, so Pam Bundy came out, and let's see. Where is this video? Did I even write it down? Because I wasn't even sure that I would play it. But she came out the other day. There's going to be major consequences for these people that are blowing up terrorist or Tesla car dealerships and all this kind of nonsense. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane what's happening. Let me see if I can find this video. The one video that I didn't write down, and now I'm searching for it. Yeah, let's, Gabe, if you can get video clip number 80 together. I'm sure you guys have heard this. You just let me know when it's ready. But Attorney General Pam Bundy. All right, so let's roll. She came out and said there's going to be major consequences for this. I gotta be honest with you. I think not only does the message need to be stronger, but I think there needs to be a push from Congress. Anybody that's going out and bombing Tesla dealerships, they've got this March 29th thing coming up. So if there's anybody bombing these dealerships or setting cars ablaze, that is a sheer act of terrorism. That is designed to intimidate voters, which is the dumbest thing, because we all know that it's mostly liberals that buy EVs, so it's their own people. But nonetheless, that is an act of terrorism. The goal is to scare people away from their belief system, away from voting the way that they want to vote. That's by definition terrorism. Here's what AG Pam Bundy had to say about it. Cut number 80, please, Kate.
All right, I want to ask you about these attacks on Tesla taking place across the country. You've recently said that they are acts of domestic terrorism. Yes. Obviously, in bringing up the concept of domestic terrorism, I would think that opens up your department and the FBI into investigating who is funding these attacks. Are they organized? What can you tell us about all of this, which many are seeing on their screen right now at Tesla dealerships, and it's taking place all over the country?
These attacks are taking place throughout our country. We have charged multiple people. Get ready, more coming. One we charged in Oregon is facing 5 to 20 years in prison. We filed in Colorado. We filed in South Carolina. There are more coming. And yes, the funding is one thing we are looking at among many others. I was personally in a meeting about it this morning. We are coming after you. We believe these are organized. These are not individuals out there throughout the country doing this on their own. They're targeting Tesla owners. They're targeting Tesla dealerships. They're targeting Elon Musk, who is out there trying to save our country, and it will not be tolerated. We are coming after you. We will find you. And if you are an organized group who is funding this, we're going to find you too. You better look out and you better stop it.
And to be clear, you said you came out of a meeting this morning. At least to some extent, you are seeing some level of organization and behind-the-scenes funding that you can investigate and potentially prosecute?
That's everything that we're looking at. Yes, we're looking at all aspects of it. These are not isolated individual events.
Okay, so that was AG Pam Bundy, and again, I think this needs to be even stronger. I really do believe that she needs to work with Congress, if possible, to stop this, to nip this in the bud. I'd like to see these terrorists, and I believe they are terrorists. I'd like to see them treated like Trinidad Aragua was treated when they went to, was it El Salvador, Gabe? That prison, KCOT or CCOT or whatever. Secot in El Salvador. I like to see them treated that way. I like to see their heads shaved. I don't care if it's men pretending like they're women, because there is some of that going on. There was a video out there, and I don't have this video, at least not that I know of this happened in Seattle. A woman was driving her Tesla. It was a 2-lane highway, beautiful scenery in the background, by the way. And then this dude whips around her in a Subaru, all right, stops in front of her, gets out of his car. He has his face mask. You could tell it's a white dude, but has his face mask for the most part, and has a hoodie on, a camouflage type jacket, if I recall the video, and tells her she's a Nazi, or she's driving the car of a Nazi, intimidating this single woman that's on the road. Ladies out there and anybody driving a Tesla, be on guard. These Tesla terrorists are serious. When we in a moment or momentarily, what I'll do is bring you some of the names of the people that have been caught, that have been arrested. There have been 3 of them. So I want to bring that to your attention. Also, the swatting of conservatives, I'm going to bring that to your attention momentarily as well. So all of that and more coming up. But I do have to make mention of my sponsor. So we'll get back to the story momentarily. All right, guys, let me talk to you about MyPillow. MyPillow is excited to announce that they are extending the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. So this is your chance to grab incredible deals on some of MyPillow's most popular and newly released items. For example, save $40 on the new spring MyPillow bed sheets, available in any size and in any color. These luxurious sheets are designed for maximum comfort and breathability as well. They're perfect for a great night's sleep. If you're looking for a meaningful gift, also, you can save 30% on the brand new Mike crosses. These are inspired by the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. You see him wearing it on television. These beautifully crafted crosses come in both men's and women's designs, and they're proudly made in the USA. So get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets for just $29.98. Initial quantities are extremely limited, so don't wait. And don't forget, the best-selling standard MyPillow is now just $14.98. Plus, orders over $75 ship for free. So all you have to do is go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Carl, or call 800-858-0263. Again, that number is 800-858-0263, or go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. I don't spell it like the communists. And guys, let me tell you something. If you're going to be looking to buy, look at their website. You go to mypillow.com, you look at their website. There's plenty of things, if you use my promo code, that you can get a deal on. And if these are things that you're going to buy for your household anyway, will you please consider going to MyPillow, using my promo code and doing that? I would certainly appreciate that, and hopefully you'll get the products that you like as well. All right, so I want to get back to these Tesla terrorists. All right, I want to get back to these Tesla terrorists. And guys, again, to me, this shows that Democrats are desperate. And you see a rift between the so-called moderates, which there are no moderates in the Democrat Party, and the radical left. So it's basically the left versus the radical left in the Democrat Party. That's what you're seeing right now. Now, remember what I told you at the beginning of this podcast. Basically, the Democrat Party is a party of open borders because they want perpetual slaves, perpetual underclass. Those are the only people that'll buy in to their nonsense, along with liberal white women and liberal black women that'll continue to fight for the Democratic cause no matter what, because they're purely emotional. It's insane to me, but this is what's happening. So they need this perpetual underclass. Democrats are not successful when you're successful. When people realize that, wait a minute, I work hard, I should get to keep more of my money. Wait a minute, you're spending. Wait a minute, Doge is exposing that you guys are wasting my money. No. That's not being a wise steward. If I'm a person of faith, that's not being a wise steward of my money. You guys shouldn't be getting this much money. What do you need to make the government efficient? That's exactly what Doge is doing. Frankly, if you're a person that is a person of faith, You should be highly upset from what you're seeing from your government. God calls us to be compassionate and kind, to take care of the widow, and the orphan. But he also calls us to be wise stewards of our money. What we're seeing in Washington, D.C. is not wise stewardship. And so we should be outraged along with Trump and Elon Musk and saying, yeah, this nonsense has to stop. But they're a party of activists. They're a party of terrorists. So here are the three vandals that have been caught. Hat tip New York Post. So you got AG Pam Bundy, again, that says this stuff is going to be taken very seriously. You just saw the video with her, Clay Travis, on, not Clay Travis. Oh, man, I forget that gentleman's name, and I love him, too, but forgive me. All right, so, but she announced the days of committing crimes without consequences have ended. This is a good thing. She went on to say, let this be a warning. If you join this wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the Department of Justice will put you behind bars. So there's some defendants whose cases are being brought in Colorado, Oregon, and South Carolina, and they are accused of using high-powered weapons and explosives to destroy property belonging to the Elon Musk-owned company, the company that we all know as Tesla. Now, I'm going to give you the names and the ages of these people. And I just want you to trip off of this because I trip off of this. But I want you to notice something that I've said for quite some time. Liberals don't grow up. There's like, when it comes to people that are on the radical left, there is no rationale to their belief system. It's like a bunch of kids that are throwing a temper tantrum. And this is what I fear. This is why shutting down the Department of Education, where they don't have, listen, guys, the Department of Education does nothing for your children's day-to-day lives in schools. I mean, they can get funded for some particular programs. And honestly, it's almost like you have to dumb down students to get funding for those particular programs, or let people in your school students that probably shouldn't be in your school, so on, et cetera. I'll get to that momentarily. But one of the people is a guy in Oregon. His name is Adam Matthew Lansky, 41, allegedly carried a suppressed AR-15 while lobbing 8 Molotov cocktails at a Salem Tesla dealership. That's the video that you see that went viral with those Tesla dealerships on fire. Almost exactly 1 month later, on February 19th, Lansky returned to the dealership and shot out one of the windows and fired bullets into a car. He's charged with unlawful possession of an unregistered firearm. Okay. 5 Tesla dealerships were set on fire in Las Vegas on March 18th, 2025 as well. All right, so you've got this guy, Matthew Lansky, in Oregon. I'm not sure if he's associated with the one in Las Vegas. Actually, that's what we saw on video. So correction on my part. That's the one that went viral. But anyway, 41 years old. 41. I mean, throwing a temper tantrum because someone doesn't have the same beliefs that you have. You can't tell me that some of these people got to be, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but let's be honest. Something is going on. What would cause a person, a grown behind man, to get to a point where you're so frustrated that you're willing to throw Molotov cocktails at a dealership because somebody is exposing the truth that your government is ripping you off? It's also proof positive that these people never believed in climate change, right? Man-made climate change. This is the guy, Elon Musk. Even when I didn't agree with Elon Musk's politics, I respected the fact that the guy was brilliant, but I did not like his EVs. I don't like EVs. All right. But I will say that his EVs are the coolest looking, along with those new Hummers that are out. I hate that they made them EVs. I wish they would make one stick shift and a big gas guzzler, and then Gabe would buy me one. I would love that. In Colorado, Lucy Grace Nelson, 40 years old, is charged with malicious destruction of property after allegedly trying to light Tesla cars on fire at a dealership in Loveland. A 40-year-old chick, 45 miles north of Denver. And these are typically these white liberal chicks that want to virtue signal and pretend like they're down with the struggle. They don't have God, so government is their God. And so they have to feel moral by destroying the right. Investigators say that Nelson spray painted Nazi cars, quote unquote, across the vehicles before tossing Molotov cocktails at them. All right. And guys, let me just answer or ask this simple question. If Elon Musk and Trump were truly Nazis, Do you think they'd be able to protest? This isn't protest. This is terrorism. Do you think they'd be able to protest like this? You have the left out there calling these people protesters or saying they're boycotting. No, terrorism is not boycotting. That is absolutely insane. These people are being riled up. I want you to listen to another video clip. This is clip number 88, if you could get it ready, Gabe. Representative Bowman, I believe he was on CNN or MSNBC, one of the propaganda networks. And he said Elon Musk was a terrorist. It turns out Elon Musk is going to sue his behind. I hope he does. Let's go ahead and play that. Cut number 88, please, Gabe.
That's not true. And this shows, again, the American people do not trust Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people. It was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a thief. He's a Nazi, and people don't trust him. Period.
Let me just.
Okay, so this is how dumb Bowman is. So he just slandered Elon Musk on live TV. So Elon Musk is going to sue him, and I'm glad that he is. Now, he said that Elon Musk is a Nazi. You guys do recall that he was defeated in the primary because he was anti-Semitic. You do recall that, right? A Jewish guy beat him in the Democrat Party, kicking his butt out of Congress, ostensibly. All right, so you do recall that. The guy is a complete and utter. I mean, just doesn't have. And he was a teacher or a principal or something. And you wonder why our kids are so dumb. I mean, this is absolutely insane. But they just rile people up. They just rile people up. They keep people angry. They keep people mad. What have I told you before? The left tells you who to hate, but they can't tell you how they can help. They have no good policies. So then you get the people out there that are morons that'll listen to that moron, like Lucy Gray Nelson, that's 40, like Matthew Lansky, that's 41. And frankly, I believe every single one of these people should get 20 years behind bars. I think that's the only way. And they should be marched like those guys from Tren de Aragua, going into that prison in El Salvador, just like the Russians do it. Push their heads down, shave their heads. I don't care if it's a woman. Treat them like crap and put it on video. I mean, you think it's an accident that El Salvador makes these big productions of these guys going into prisons? They want criminals to see that and say, oh, you know what? I don't want to go there. That's exactly what's happening. And that's what needs to happen with these terrorists. The left will talk about, why does the left talk about J6 so much? The left talks about J6 so much because it was the one time that they could go to conservatives and say, oh, conservatives got a little foolish there. All right. You know what I'm saying? And still, that was a riot. They had to create a production to make you believe that it was way worse than it actually was. Meanwhile, these people have attacked the Capitol 3 times in history. They do stuff like this. Remember the BLM riots? Remember Antifa 2020 Summer of Love? Antifa was doing that before 2020. Then you got the BLM riots. Antifa was doing this type of nonsense and intimidation after. And I believe this is Antifa now. They're just paid for a different cause. You got another cat, Daniel Clark Pounder, 24 years old. He's accused of arson of property in interstate commerce after he allegedly vandalized Tesla's charging stations in Charleston, South Carolina. I don't know if this is the guy that literally lit a charging station on fire and ended up burning his wee to some extent. I'm not sure. I don't know if he actually did that, but he was on fire, ran away. So, I mean, this is insane. Clark Pounder scrawled F Trump and long live the Ukraine, quote unquote, across the charging stations before throwing 5 Molotov cocktails at them with one of the homemade bombs, lighting the suspect on fire before he put it out himself. Each faces a minimum of 5 years in prison if convicted, but the charges carry a maximum penalty. No, they should face a minimum of 20 years. This needs to be upgraded to terrorism. It's as simple as that. This is absolutely insane. Listen, the Democrats are absolutely desperate because, again, they don't have policies. So they're resorting to intimidation, which is terrorism in and of itself. As a matter of fact, we've got Chuck U. Schumer saying as much, and I'll share that shortly. All right, guys. So listen, I want to remind you, please listen. The only way that this show grows is with your help. I appreciate your listenership, but I'm also asking you to share the podcast with any and everyone that you know. We've got more to talk about. We've got more coming up. I'm going to talk about some crime happening within the Democrat Party that I want to get to, from Big Perm's brother, Cori Bush's husband, but also this swatting incident that has occurred. So we'll get to that momentarily. But I need you to follow me on all things social media, please. That helps out a lot, believe it or not, in this business. When it comes to radio, my radio ratings are good. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in, whether I'm sitting in for Larry Elder or Dennis Prager currently, or Mike Gallagher when I'm on, whomever I'm sitting in for. I so appreciate your listenership and you guys that reach out to me on social media, and I will ask you to continue to do so. But also, what makes a big difference in this industry, and it's something that I've been weak at, frankly, but I've got to pump it. That's just the bottom line. The executives have asked me to do that, and I'm asking for your help. So if you could follow me on all things social media, I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook, okay? At Carl Jackson Show, at the Carl Jackson Show as well. One of those two places you'll find me. But I try to respond to as many people as I possibly can. Some of you I've responded to already, so I appreciate you following me. But also, I need you to subscribe to the podcast. Especially last week will be my last on-air week on the Dennis Prager Show. You guys may have heard the news that he'll be back June 3rd is the day that he's looking to return, but he'll be returning for 1 hour instead of the 2-hour program that he has now. Charlie Kirk will be filling that 12 to 2 slot. And so pray for Dennis that he continues to recuperate and recover right now. The process is going better than they expected. So he's hoping to be back on June 3rd. But when I'm off air, what we're planning to do with the podcast, we're going to go live. We're going to test it out. We may have to start off with one day. We're trying to go live 2 days a week and then do a third podcast, which we will probably record over the weekend to put out as well, maybe like a wrap-up show. But if you guys will follow me, I will make sure I'm going to give it the radio feel. I love radio. All right. Podcasting is cool, but I love the feel of radio. So we're going to do our best to bring you a podcast, but more in a radio format, all right? Because it's just kind of how I roll, and it's what I like. It's the way, it's what I grew. I grew up listening, or I fell in love with this business, listening to the talking heads, Rush Limbaugh, obviously, the Dennis Pragers, the Mike Gallaghers, the Larry Elder. You know what I'm saying? So I listened, Glenn Beck. Yeah, I listened to all of them, frankly. I would just scroll around, and I love every single one of them and what they do for the business, quite frankly. So that's kind of my thing. So, all right, YouTube, Rumble. Where else, Gabe? YouTube, Rumble, Salem Podcast Network, wherever. X, Instagram, wherever you go. Listen, we're going to go live. We're going to be on a lot of these platforms. So the Carl Jackson Show, but particularly on YouTube, Rumble, or wherever you find my podcast, I need you to subscribe. I need you to share, and we would appreciate that so much. All right. So I want to get to these swatters. So this is crazy. This just proves there's more Democrat desperation. But I want to remind you of a video. Where is it? Of Chuck E. Schumer. Do I have him? Oh, yeah. Cut number 76, Gabe. If we could play that, por favor, I would appreciate it. Cut number 76.
In 2017, when he was last here, Nancy Pelosi and I said we're going to go after him on health care. He was very unpopular with that. We're going to go after him on tax breaks for the rich. And then we won the House and picked up some seats in the Senate in 2018. Same thing is going to happen now. And we're going to go after him in so many different ways. We are doing much better on the social media, led by Cory Booker and Tina Smith in our House. And so we're reaching people who were not reached before. We are mobilizing in New York. We have people going to the Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences. This is a long, relentless fight that we fight every day. And I am confident that we will bring Trump's popularity, numbers, and strength down if we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it.
There are those who believe.
All right, so that's Chuck U. Schumer fighting for his life. He's totally desperate. AOC looks like she may primary him. She has been she's been asked by several members of the Democrat caucus to primary Chuck U. Schumer. This is a guy that's spineless, that's gutless, a pure partisan hack, a Jewish guy that doesn't stand up for the Jewish state, pretends like he does in word, literally going out on a book tour, writing about anti-Semitism, yet doing nothing as Senate Minority Leader to really fight against it. It's absolutely insane. He's been so feckless on this issue. What we're seeing on college campuses, and especially after 10/7, he's a complete and utter disgrace. He's just a political hack. But notice what he said. They don't have anything, guys. They don't have anything. They don't have any ideas. They don't have any solutions. The left is upset with him because he didn't work to shut down the government. But this is the fight that's happening between the leftists like Chuck Schumer and the radical leftists like the AOCs in the party. But they don't have anything. Open borders, that's all they want. They want activists. They want terrorism. That's all they want. But notice what Chuck U. Schumer said. Hat tip to Rush Limbaugh, by the way. But notice what he said. The only thing that they can do is try to make you mad at Trump. The only thing that they can do is try to make you mad at Elon. Why? Because they want you to hate him. They want you to be distracted from the policies and just hate the man. This is why you're seeing these coordinated attacks on Tesla. This is it's coordinated, or you go online to these lefty sites, Individual, Open Societies Foundation, George Soros, and they're brainwashing these left-wing numbskulls into believing that people on the right are actual Nazis, are actually out to get them when they're the ones that are doing the violence, that are committing all of the violence. It's absolutely insane. All right. So all Chuck U. Schumer can do is try to bring down Trump's poll numbers. I got some more videos that I want to share with you, but let me get to this story. Alan Estrin, Dennis Prager's producer, shared this with me, and I'm just going to read through some of it if I can here briefly. And I want to bring attention to the swatting that's going on. And here's what the left is trying to do. There was another story that I didn't get to at the beginning of the week that I wanted to, where you had YouTube that is censoring a Christian. What's that? Candace Cameron Bure, right? She was with the Hallmark Channel. Now I don't know if she's the founder. She was with Full House. Thank you. Man, Gabe, that's kind of weird that you know that. All right. I know that too. I used to watch Full House with my daughter growing up, and frankly liked it. All right. Sad day when, oh man, what's his name? When he passed, the father, Bob Saget. But anyway, so what the left has to do is they have to silence us. And this is more Democrat desperation. This proves to me that their outlets are no longer having the same impact. CNN, MSNBC, the propaganda networks are not having the same impact that they used to have. And so the left wants to silence us. So Candace Cameron Bure, I believe she's created, or at least she's part of, or one of the executives of, and also an actress in this new, it's not the Hallmark Network. I think it's called Great American Families or something like that. I don't think I have the column in front of me, sadly. And I wanted to speak about it earlier in the week. But YouTube has been censoring them. Basically, they can get subscribers, but YouTube doesn't do anything to push ads and stuff like that it would do for Hallmark, because Hallmark is nice and fun and all that, but they're also willing to go to the left, LGBTQ and all that kind of stuff. Well, she's not doing that. She's just doing traditional films, faith-based family films, love, you know what I'm saying? People falling in love, all the Hallmark stuff. Without the wokeness, essentially. That's what she's doing. And so they don't get the play. They get censored on YouTube. This is what the left has to do now. This is happening with conservatives that are building platforms on X. And it's not, they're big names on X, but they're not mainstream names. You know what I mean? You got this guy, Gunther Eagleman, that you will find on X. You got Nick Sorter, and I've been in some of his X, what are those things called? Now the name escapes me. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Spaces. Thank you, Gabe. But here's a story from Breitbart that was shared with me earlier. Attempted murder. 15 conservatives targeted by swatting attacks in 1 week. And guys, I've been saying this for God knows how long. I've been saying this needs to be attempted murder. I really have. And I've been saying this on national air whenever these stories pop up I'm glad to see more people are starting to say this because that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying to get people killed. So let me just give you the synopsis of this. A series of swatting incidents targeting conservative commentators and journalists have transpired nearly every since March 11th. This, according to X posts, in which the victims shared video surveillance footage and photos of the events, sparking questions as to who is engaging in what Representative Andy Ogles called, quote, domestic terrorism and attempted murder. Thank you. This is how this law needs to be written up. If these people are in foreign countries and they're able to find them, we need to work with those foreign countries to be able to extradite these people. And have them serve out their time here. This has to stop. And it has to be domestic terrorists and attempted murder charges. So these people are in prison for 30 years. Parade them just like you do the Trinidad Aragua gangsters and let everybody see it. Director Kash Patel and AG Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security Secretary, have also reacted to the wave of dangerous crimes. The term swatting refers to an anonymous attacker, that targets someone by making a false call to emergency services using anonymous tools like Google Voice or VPNs to make it appear that the call is coming from a certain location. Wow. And telling authorities a murder or hostage event is transpiring at a particular address. So then you get a SWAT team. That's swatting. So swatting is designed to prompt the SWAT teams to arrive at the targeted home and descend on unsuspecting victims, which in the past has led to deadly encounters and murder charges for the offender. So there's a link there, but I won't go there now. I know there was, I think, a 2017 incident where this occurred and somebody got swatted. And obviously, people are going to react. Police at your door, they might swing the door open. Police officers may react and shoot them. So at the time of this writing, there has been 15 conservative swatting, 15 figures in conservative politics and media that have reported being swatted within the course of 1 week. You had the string of swatting incidents seemingly began on the evening of March 11th. With InfoWars reporter Chase Geiser revealing in an early morning March 12th X post that 6 to 8 police officers, I'm quoting here, quote, police officers used a PA system to call me by name and order me to walk out of my house, close quote. Then he goes on to say I was handcuffed in the middle of the street, presumably at gunpoint, though I couldn't tell because of the light being shined on my face. I was then led into the house where my wife was woken up, and we were informed that they received a call from someone pretending to be me and threatening to kill my family. And there's video there. Geiser told Breitbart News that he was swatted twice in one day. So I was bracing for the second one, quote unquote. He goes on to say, just days after our reporter Jamie White was murdered, another InfoWars person that was murdered, sadly. He further summed up or surmised that swatting attacks are coordinated, adding that he believes they are connected to antagonism toward Ukraine. And that may be. I don't think it's just antagonism towards Ukraine. I think it's a way to silence everyone on the right. Hey, we don't want the new up and comers. We want you guys to shut the heck up too. I believe that's a lot. That's a big part of it. Nick Sorter, Gunther Eagleman, these guys have blown up on X and become major personalities. Nick Sorter says both my dad and my sister were swatted tonight. He wrote on X, a dozen cops attempted to kick my dad's door in at gunpoint. This is literal effing terrorism, he says, and the FBI should treat it as such. He's absolutely right. But now he says his family has his back more than ever. Gunther Eagleman says the same happened to him, but luckily has a good relationship with law enforcement. I believe he's former military, if I'm not mistaken. But this is what's happening. They've got to silence the right because they have no ideas. All right. We'll wrap up on the other side. Hey, guys, just remember, you are listening to the Carl Jackson Show. I just want to talk to you just a split more about some of the criminal activity. Actually, probably a couple more videos on this trans terrorism, Tesla terrorist. There is a trans Tesla terrorist video. So 91, Gabe, let's get that one ready. I haven't even watched it, so we'll be watching it together for the first time. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy what we're seeing happening. All right, guys, I got to remind you as soon as I can find the ad, because I throw stuff around when I'm talking, which is not a good thing. All right, My Pillow. Don't forget, guys, My Pillow is having their Mega Sale 2.0. So My Pillow is excited to announce that they are extending the Mega Sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. So this is your chance to grab incredible deals on some of My Pillow's most popular and newly released items. So, for example, you can save $40 on the new spring My Pillow bed sheets, available in any size and any color. Guys out there, maybe you want to hook up your wives for the Easter season, spring season. These luxurious sheets are designed for maximum comfort and breathability, perfect for a great night's sleep. If you're looking for a meaningful gift, save 30% on the brand new Mike crosses that are inspired by the one that Mike has worn on television for over 20 years. These beautifully crafted crosses come in both men's and women's designs and are proudly made in the USA. Praise God. So get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets. You can get those for just $29.98. Guys, they've got the best towels out there by far. It's not even close. Initial quantities are extremely limited, so don't wait. And don't forget, the best-selling standard My Pillow, now just $14.98. I will not sleep with any other pillow. I love it that much. Plus, orders over $75 ship for free. So go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. Do it today, por favor. I don't spell it like the communists, C-A-R-L, or give them a call, 800-858-0263. 800-858-0263. Okay. So now, let me just wrap up this swatting thing and make my point here. The bottom line is these people literally have to censor conservatives because our ideas are better. They are freaking out. The Department of Education is being dismantled, right? So that's scaring them. What does the left has? What does the left have? How do they control us? They use fear tactics to control the population. They don't have good ideas. The sky is falling. We found out this week. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this. I should have printed out the story. But basically, even within Biden's own administration, someone conducted a study, probably AutoPen or the aide that was signing stuff that should not have happened. I'll get to that momentarily. All right. So basically, there was a report. When it comes to LNG, liquefied natural gas, the left claims, oh my God, all of this gas, these things are destroying the planet. Turns out the report says, it was negligible. So you know what the Biden administration did? They hid it. They hid it because they know they're lying to you. They've got to scare the crap out of you. The sky is falling. The ice glaciers are melting faster than ever. That's been proven to be a lie, and I still heard the lie repeated yesterday on an ad on a conservative network talking station. Because and I know this talking station to some degree. All right. And so the people there tend to be liberal. A lot of people don't know that on the inside tends to be liberal. So they're still spewing this nonsense when there's been evidence coming out all the time that this is a bunch of baloney. And it's fake. Everybody knows these social justice warriors, these climate change people are completely fake. We know that because they're blowing up Teslas. They don't believe in man-made climate change. They believe in the issue to control you and make themselves feel virtuous. All right. So no, a liquefied natural gas, no problem. Not impacting the environment. I mean, it's insane. But these people will lie to you because they want to scare you. We've had all these predictions of when the world is going to come to an end, and it hasn't. Al Gore lamented this week that, what Trump has done with the EPA, with all of these new reconsiderations, really puts me in a bind, basically. I'm paraphrasing. You have Mark Kelly, who's a former astronaut that traded in his Tesla for a gas guzzler. All right. And he didn't want to support Elon Musk. What a dumb butt. All right. So he didn't believe in climate change. He believed in using that issue for virtue signaling. Actually, he wrote it all the way into his Senate seat. All right. So he's a fake and he's a fraud. Oh, and by the way, he doesn't support Tesla. I mean, Elon Musk, because he was a Trump supporter, but he used to love him because he was a man of the left. But now he supports the United Auto Workers that voted for Trump. What an idiot. What an idiot. These people are such frauds. It's not even funny. A couple more videos that I want to show you. Actually, let's see this one. Cut number 91. I want to see what they have to say. These trans Tesla terrorists. Cut number 91, please, Gabe.
Yeah, Musk has been retweeting posts saying things like 3 out of the 4 people arrested are trans or non-gender conforming. Now, there are claims circulating online that some of the people who have been arrested are trans or non-binary, and people are taking this off of social media accounts. We have not confirmed this ourselves, and authorities have not confirmed anything about their gender identity. And what Musk is doing, as he often does, he's just seeing things crossing his timeline, and he retweets them and he posts them without seemingly doing much research, even though he is sitting at the White House and he could probably get the best stats and research on what's happening. He also, though, began reposting claims that trans people are more violent than non-trans people. But here is a fact. Trans people are more than 4 times as likely to be victims of violent crime.
By who? By who? And actually, that's a stupid, silly stat. Because walk outside of your house, go walk outside of your apartment complex. How many trans people do you see? Out of the 100,000 that you'll pass, how many do you see in a day? These numbers are so stupid, it's insane. And don't forget the trans vegan cults, many of them that were arrested that murdered the Border Patrol agent. I believe that was in New Hampshire or Maine. I don't remember, but a trans vegan cult. Remember, a lot of these school shootings, modern day school shootings that have occurred, these massacres have been done by people, by women that wanted to be men, or by trans people. So maybe there's something to it. And quite frankly, X actually does a pretty good job of catching news stories simply because you're seeing people that may witness stuff in live time and post. And maybe sometimes the context is off. I'll give her that. But you're talking about CNN, like they have any credibility. They didn't report that there was a dementia patient in the White House, in fact, covered up for him 4 years. I mean, give me a freaking break, people. This is a complete and utter joke. But again, the left has to censor. They have to censor all dissent. That's the only way that they survive. And notice it's always about demonizing the person, not the policies. What's wrong with cutting back on government waste? I mean, again, this is why I'm trying to. This is what the left has to do. Let me play another video clip for you. This is Governor Tim Walz. Tim Walz is not going to be the next president of the United States. If he does choose to run in the primary, and he's doing all these town halls. He's not going to go far. Cut number 94. I'm not sure if this is what I think it is or not, but it may have to do with something Chuck Schumer said. Let's roll that. Cut number 94.
It is a mess. I do believe, though, that I've been given a platform, running, and the privilege of running with Vice President Harris, given a platform to lift folks up, and they are coming out. These are folks that are coming out. They're making their voices heard, and these members of Congress are going to dodge it. And Donald Trump doesn't have to stand in front of the voters again, but these folks do. And we need to make it clear that this cannot stand. And we'll challenge them on all fronts. We'll challenge them in the court of public opinion. We'll challenge them in the courts. It's simply not what America's founded on. Again, I go back to that previous story with the attorney and the absolute disregard for all rule of law and human rights. This is stuff that Americans need to pay attention. I'm an optimistic person, and I'm not trying to, to paint this too terribly, but I think we have to assume the very worst in everything that this administration does, and we need to prepare for it.
Okay. The guy's a disaster. He will not be president of the United States. And Gavin Newsom effectively ended his hopes of being president. And he would have never come close. If anything, he would have been like a Kamala Harris that maybe got in the race and dropped out by Iowa. Frankly, I don't even believe he would get any donor money. So I don't even think he would go that far. The guy's a complete and utter moron. But he, went on Gavin Newsom's podcast. And I think Gavin Newsom set him up, frankly, and said he would kick Republicans' booties. And you had some dudes that are like Tyrus on Gutfeld shows, like, okay, I'll be your Huckleberry. I mean, the guy's just a complete and utter moron. You can't be the president of the United States and divide people. You're going to have to be able to take back some of the Democrat voters that Trump has taken away from you guys after he won the popular vote in all 7 swing states. And that's not going to happen with a person specifically like Tim Walz. But these people have to intimidate and they have to terrorize simply because they have no ideas. I wanted to play a video of the Department of Education, but I don't have. Anyway, I didn't write it down. But anyway, the Department of Education, this is why they're freaking out about the Department of Education. I really believe, I'm starting to believe a lot of these agencies are more like a psyops institutions. Or like we really believe, because they're so entrenched in government and in our psyche, we really believe that we must have them in order to survive as a nation. I mean, you consider the JFK files, CIA, so on, et cetera. I'm sure that we need the CIA. I remember having, I forget his name, McFadis used to be CIA, and he got out because he said it was no longer the organization that it used to be post 9/11 as well. It's just insane. So I just wonder, and I'm not saying we don't need a CIA. I do believe we need a CIA. I do believe we need a Secret Service. I don't believe we need the FBI. Even though I know, praise God, Kash Patel is over it right now, but I haven't spoken to Stephen Friend several times on it. I just wonder if sometimes these organizations exist and the left wants to keep them there so that they can scare people. Oh, the Department of Education is going away. Oh, the CIA. Now everybody's going to get our secrets. Oh, the department. Now people are going to get dumber. Especially when it comes to places like the Department of Education, there's correlation there. I'm sorry. 40 years of the Department of Education being intact. Jimmy Carter it was initially formed via executive order, and then Jimmy Carter actually. It was later codified into law through legislation, but math scores, reading scores have gone down ever since. And the problem is you get the Department of Education tied into local education, and the Department of Education, and Randy Weingartner, whatever, even admitted it. Now she's coming out and whining and crying and all this kind of nonsense, saying, listen, we don't do much in local education at all. Okay, good. So send the money back to the states so that they can do a better job, whether that's taking care of their special needs kids, whether that's improving on reading and math skills. Should there be a measurement so that we all have the same measure, all states, of getting kids into college that want to go? Sure. But also trade schools, all of that kind of stuff becomes an option. But the bottom line is we don't need the Department of Education. Kids have only gotten dumber since its inception. So listen, it can go bye-bye. Guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show. Don't grow weary doing good.